All right, Max, we're going live. We're going live right now.
Rock
Greetings. On. Greetings. This is Uncle V. You're watching the Uncle Vigilante channel. Welcome to Friday's Epic Cash Live. Yeah, we're back like a good rash. It is June 24th, 2022. And I have Max Freeman, founder of Epic Cash, on the line. And it's just going to be us two talking about lots of things today, guys. But the title of the show is the Crypto Red Wedding. How many of you have seen the Game of Thrones? And how many of you were blown away by the episode, The Red Wedding? Well, it's this past month, it's been the Crypto Red Wedding, pretty much multi-asset Red Wedding. And the only thing is, like in the Game of Thrones, when that Red Wedding happened, Epic Cash, they just happened to be out in the outhouse. So they missed it. And they come in, they open the door, and there's all this red, and their Epic Cash is just green as green can be. So Max Freeman, welcome to the show. Can you explain what's happening in this the market, and why is Epic holding strong, sir?
Sure can. Let me just.
Hi, Lydia. Hi, Lydia. Lydia's in the house. She's the first one in.
All right. Welcome, Lydia.
Yep. You're a little echoey. Hey, we have 3 watching and 0 likes. I just put a like in. All right.
Smash that like button. Lydia, you want to share the links around?
What's that?
Lydia, you want to share the links around? Get some more people on here?
Yeah, that would be great.
Let's take questions in the chat. I mean, there's so much going on. We don't know what people are focused on, but let's cover as many bases as we can.
All right.
We don't have any formal agenda today.
Well, we don't have a formal agenda, but we do. I want to talk about the Crypto Red Wedding. Why is Epic holding strong? And I also want to talk about the law of attraction. Talk a little Mike Momola, and also want to talk about Diego and bear traps. How about that?
Let's do it. All right. So yeah, what's going on with the global markets? Basically, the entire financial system and our global economy has been addicted to cheap money. The problem of moral hazard and the money printer and things like the Cantillon effect, where the places that are closest to the free money printer spigot, like New York and London and Singapore and Tokyo and other major financial centers, with this phenomenon of $100+ million apartments becoming commonplace. We're just seeing kind of a terminal state. You can't print. You can print currency, but you can't print goods and services. And so ever since 1971, when Nixon took us off the gold standard, there's been no sane basis of ultimate rationality to our economy, and there's been a lot of distortions. Essentially, as China has grown, it has subsidized our spending beyond our living beyond our means here domestically, and a lot of dollars have not only been created, but they end up offshore and they get stuck in things like treasury bonds. And now, as some of that stuff starts to unwind, a lot of that's driven by geopolitical stuff. For example, the change in the petrodollar standard. Places like Saudi Arabia used to only sell dollars. If you wanted oil, you needed dollars, and now they're willing to accept other currencies. So it's kind of a bit of a rug pull. And so what I think is going on right now, big picture, is that the entire global economy is facing a Weimar Germany 1923 type experience as hyperinflation really took root. Yeah, there's a great book on my website, maxfreeman.me/library. It's called When Money Dies, and it talks about how different groups of people responded, from housewives to industrialists to central bankers. And it's really illuminating to help understand what we're seeing today. And so my read is we've reached a turn.
Max, it's maxfreeman.me/library.
Yeah.
All right. I just put that in the chat. Okay.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so so there are historical parallels. History doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. And having studied this for decades now, I think I understand pretty well what's going on. So we are in a time of currency transition. It generally happens about every 30 to 50 years, depending on how you define it. So you have to go for these epoch shifts in currency. You have to go back to 1971 when the dollar came off the gold standard. Before that, you have to go to 1945 at the end of World War II with Bretton Woods. Before the dollar was the
what was Bretton Woods?
Yeah, so Bretton Woods was a conference in a town called Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. I believe it was a town, may have been the hotel. Yeah, I think it was the town. But anyway, the Allies, as World War II was shaping up to a close, they got together and said, this is how the post-war monetary order is going to be. So Uncle Anal Schwab and Bill Gates and all the other elite psychopath Babylonian predators, when they get together in Davos and talk about New World Order and you'll own nothing and be happy and transhumanism and all their grand designs for how to rule our lives, that the equivalent of that that's going on now with that same cast of characters, those types of guys, let's say the top 10,000 people that really own everything and control most of everything, they got together and said, we're gonna have all fiat currencies pegged to the dollar, which is pegged to gold. And ultimately, that's going to provide a rational basis to constrain otherwise profligate governments from printing their currencies into oblivion. And so over the course of the 20th century, we saw, I think there were about 400 separate fiat currency deaths. There's another great book. I believe it's on there. If not, I'm working on putting a list together of all these great books I've read over the years that helped me understand this stuff. It's called The End of Freedom by a friend of mine, John Sneisen, up in Canada. And he's one of the smartest thinkers I know about international monetary history and stuff like that. So basically, you can stay irrational. The market can stay irrational longer than you can remain solvent. Right. And our our Potemkin village of pretend positive sum economics that is really destroying a lot of wealth with cockamamie schemes that don't pencil out, like wind farms, that destroy more energy, or green, the corn ethanol scams and schemes. Like it's really kind of like last days of Rome, where there's or maybe there's vandals at the gates of the city, and meanwhile we're debating how many angels can dance on the head of a pin. Should Elon Musk take over Twitter? Yes or no? Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Don't look over here while everything falls apart. The wheels of the car on the global economy are falling off. Russia and China do not export urea anymore, which is a component in DEF, which is diesel exhaust fluid that our trucks need to move goods and services. So it's going to be a brutal winter on present trends, and we can be fearful and focus on all that type of stuff, or we can be hopeful and say, "Wow, as big as the challenges are that we face, so too are the tools that we have at our disposal to meet those challenges." And I think what we're doing with Epicenter is really one of the strongest tools that we have to preserve our ability to enjoy a nice way of life. I mean, they are serious when they say you will own nothing and be happy. And the you'll own nothing part is clearly in focus. And I'm inclined to disbelieve the be happy part.
I had a gentleman DM me, Max, yesterday, and he basically was a TCV member. He remembers me from that and all of the drama that went down with the crypto vigilante. And he said, brother, he goes, I literally am devastated. I have just done what they've said, and I've held, and I am absolutely wrecked. I'm destroyed. He says, my only hope is the epic that I hold. And he said, brother, can you give me a price prediction of where it is at the end of the year? Now, I did give him a price prediction, but I'm not going to do that here on the show. But Max, for those like him that are holding other cryptos that are just incredibly underwater, down 95%, some even more, why should they have hope in Epic Cash?
Well, I would say as bad as it is to be down 95%, getting 5 cents on the dollar is getting better than 0 cents on the dollar. So depending on what you hold, you really got to ask yourself, what is the 3 to 5 year future look like for this asset? There's this psychological phenomenon in trading called anchor bias, and people tend to become emotionally attached to when they got into a position. Oh, I bought my pirate chain at $3. I'm just going to wait till it goes back there. Well, the market doesn't care about when you got in. There's nothing anybody can do about that. But to use that one, I know that's been a trail of tears for the people that were misled by the TCV cult, those charlatans over there. So if you bought into pirate chain at dollars and now it's 40 cents, well, at 40 cents it's still $80 million of market cap. So 80 million in the case of their coin, or 10 million in ours, you can have an 8 times greater ownership of the network in Epic. And so I would advise people not to be emotionally attached to their prior trading missteps and instead focus on the future. I know a friend, minor Epic whale. I think he has 100,000 coins. I've known him for years, and he's steadily built a position as what I was saying went from crazy, like you're out of your mind, stop with the crack pipe there, son, to okay, little bit, it's snowballing a position. Now this guy is a big heavy roller, and he was I think his portfolio was, I don't know, mid tens of millions of dollars last year, and so his little 100,000 Epic did not matter. It was a curiosity. It's just like, okay, this is interesting. Well, guess what happened? He made a couple missteps and is down 90+% on tens of millions of dollars. And because of tax planning moves he did at the end of the year with like staking and bonding and tax loss harvesting and all the other things that rich people need to do to not be eaten alive by taxes, now he's net underwater, illiquid, tax liability more than the present value of his assets. And the only thing in his whole portfolio that has a future, is liquid, and didn't fall apart, is Epic. And so our relative importance in that person's financial life went from a rounding error to the centerpiece. And now I couldn't get his attention to help out. He's one of those silent angels that like his presence is felt, but mainly through my talking with him. He's had a storied career over decades in many fields, and I respect him a lot and learned a lot. We don't disagree. We don't see eye to eye on everything, of course, but there's even value there in exchanging views. And so he's one of those people whose fingerprints are all over what we're doing, but you'd never know it because he's never shown up in the chats. I just talked to him by phone. And now I could see a time where 3, 6, 9, 12 months later, as we build out the ecosystem, as he wants to rebuild his rebuild upon the ashes of his former empire, that his highest and best use of not just his capital, which would have been great if he came in with tens of millions last year, but he didn't, but more importantly, his time. I mean, 100,000 Epic in BTC terms, what is that? 20,000 times 100,000, 200 million bucks or something. Maybe more. I mean, the numbers are silly, and so it's sad that that had to happen to him. But it was a necessary thing for it to be time for him to be open to coming and engaging more substantively with us. And there's probably a dozen people like that I know from the course of my life, and their hardship is our opportunity And so I think it's really important right now to be that shining city on the hill and the beacon of light, the light that attracts the moths to it. The reason that Epic has not collapsed like all this other stuff is because it has a genuine utility. Bitcoin Core is a $20,000 CD-ROM with the Bitcoin song on it, and everybody can see what you do. It's expensive. It takes 10 minutes, this and that. And its best days are behind it. Epic is a $1 Blu-ray whose best days are ahead of it. And so the people that are everyone gets the price they deserve. The people that are here and are here early and are here with not just their money, but with their time and their conviction and their commitment are going to be on the right side of what's happening. And then I think that they're going to dedicate, like once you become independently wealthy and you have complete freedom over what you do with your time, for some people that's thousands of dollars, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions, depending on your lifestyle. Increasingly, we're going to gain in human capital as people contribute more to our structured efforts through the DAO and the baby DAOs. There's 24 of them in the Meta DAO structure currently. So if you have an idea for a DAO and you want to get it going, DM me and we'll make it work. But we're perfectly positioned to not just be on top in the next bull run, but stay there, because the seeds of failure are sown in the fertile soil of success. And we've always eschewed the get rich quick, methamphetamine fueled party weekend approach to crypto in favor of just soberly building, focused on infrastructure and long-term value. So you never know who's naked, swimming naked until the tide goes out, and there's still a lot of hot air out there, and we never had that. We never had that pump. I mean, can you imagine if we had been putting our effort into marketing and promotion and all this influencer BS over the years instead of where we are? I mean, sure, Pirate Chain could get to $16 by using all its strengths, but imagine if they took that and built out, the product, the network, making it more of a value proposition. I mean, they were so far ahead of us. They were 2.4 billion when we were 2 million. And I keep seeing that story over and over. Grin had $100 million of VC and all the smartest money and the big brains and developers and all that stuff, and they are 6 million market cap today, and we're at 10.
I'm out. Did I hear you right earlier? Pirate went from 2.4 billion to now 80 million.
Yes.
Jesus, what is that? That's like 99%. I mean,
97, maybe something like that. Yeah, it got up over $16, and now it's 40 cents.
Well, I will tell you, and just to remind everybody, Mars Callahan, who is co-writing Trillions with you, had you at dinner with a gentleman named Chris Champion, whose job, Mars said, was to basically Chris has been around. He's an OG of OGs, and he's been around. He's seen every project. And Max, his job was to come in and just kick the tires and make sure that you were legitimate and real. And it became a love fest really, really quickly. And that really sealed the deal with you and Mars and Trillions, and that project is moving forward nicely. But I want to share something. This was just spontaneous that Chris, you'll meet Chris here. These are the type of people that we are now attracting. So the next segment I want to get into is the law of attraction related to crypto. And I think this will give people a little sneak peek. So this is nothing that we invited his opinion or whatever. He just literally dropped this into a shared Telegram chat with a group of us. Let me just share this with you and hit play. Hey, Chris, you handsome fella. Let me pull this down here. Whoops. Pull this down here and go.
Thanks, buddy. I gotta tell you, man, you guys have great documentation. Like, I don't really know what's missing from this project other than I know the wallet is mission critical, but your team and your leadership and your documentation is the best I've seen. I'm telling you, buddy, I can't tell you enough how impressed I am. I'm not kidding you, like I've seen hundreds of projects and I've seen them in detail. I've seen everything behind the scenes, everything. This is some of the best documentation, organization, and leadership skills. I'm telling you, you guys, fuck, so good.
Well, that sure was encouraging, Max.
Tell us how you really feel, Chris.
I mean, he was really coming in as a hard ass to be able to gut check you, and that testimony like that right there is as real as raw as you can get. And when I heard that, it gave Chris, thank you. It gave me goosebumps when I did hear that, and I agree with you 100%. This Epic Cash project and the entire ecosystem is like no other. Max, why are we attracting so many really good, smart people that the community doesn't even know about that? You and I know some of them, but these are like the cream of the crop of other projects that are silently coming in to contribute. Why is that happening?
Well, it's a number of things. We are internally consistent in our values, and our value proposition is very honest. I noticed that many people, as they get burned, you don't know not to touch the stove until your finger gets burned, and then you don't do that again. Some people need to get burned twice or even 3 times before they go, wow, let me change a different approach. I think it's that 2.5 years is a long time. That's how long it's been since we launched the mainnet. But really, the ideation and a lot of the initial R&D, you can trace that back to 2018. So shout outs to people that have been contributing for years. Alpha Eyes is making his presence felt more lately. I remember sitting here with him in Vegas face to face in 2019 and sketching out all these crazy dreams on a whiteboard. And it was science fiction. It was reality distortion field. It was, man, wouldn't it be great if one day we could do this? And then
now,
day after day.
Alpha is the gentleman who connected you with Mark Cuban, right?
Yes. We have Alpha to thank for that. He's a Mavericks fan, and he's a Mavericks fan, and has been in touch with him before. And so when he found out that we were doing the podcast, he said, maybe I'll say no, but let's throw it out there. And sure enough, he was like, sure, let's do it. And so we talked for about 30 minutes on air. It was not live. We're doing professional editing on.
Now let me back up. So you are writing a book, The DNA of Bitcoin, and you have reached out to some of the smartest minds in the world under the auspice of I'm writing the DNA of Bitcoin. I have a podcast called The DNA of Bitcoin, and I would love to engage with the smartest minds in the world on Bitcoin or in cryptocurrency, just to make sure that I have it right. And I'd like to be able to, really, really focus on the white paper to make sure that we are walking in the shoes of Satoshi Nakamoto back in 2008, but then would also like to go through a thought experiment of if Satoshi Nakamoto had a mulligan and could create Epic Cash with today's technology, what might that look like? What do you think that might he might consider to be important attributes to be part of Bitcoin? And that approach, first, Max, brilliant, has attracted the likes of, you have 3 episodes down. You're going to get 3 more before you release the first one of, I think, a 12 episode series. But who all of you attracted, and give us some names of people who are on the radar.
Yeah, so let's start with the ones we did. So the first was Wilker Jr., friend of mine since 2018, maybe 17, now that I think of it. I've learned a lot from him. He is the chief Bitcoin historian at coingeek.com. He has, he has forgotten more about Bitcoin than I could ever hope to know.
Not
I could
true.
just sponge from his brain.
I listened to the podcast. Not true.
Well, but no, but I mean, I'm broad, he's narrow and deep.
I got you.
So,
Yeah, right,
like Levi Nathan talking to us in Free U, going, well, why does it use base 58 encoding? I have not the foggiest, but now I do, thanks to you, Levi. So Hive Mind makes us all better. In any case, he got in, I think, in 2012, 2011, something like that. He was very generous with his time. It was back then, it was
a
Facebook.
great interview.
Yeah, back then on Facebook, I didn't know anything, and he was generous enough to engage with people in his group, and we maintained a friendship after that. So Kurt Wilker Jr., the chief Bitcoin historian at CoinGeek.com.
Yep.
Great website. I highly encourage people to read the Crypto Crime Cartel series to understand who the players are and how Blockstream and Bitmain and the guys at Bitfinex and Tether.
Did he write that?
I don't know if it's his, but I think I believe it's a group effort, but I know he's contributed to it. Okay. That's an ongoing series for years. Like I see. It's almost like an episode of Sopranos.
Okay.
It really is. Yeah. 64 people mined the overwhelming majority of Bitcoin Core. There's recent data that came out, this data science professor, female out of, I think it was Ohio or maybe Carnegie Mellon or something like that. But basically, because everything is public and we have enough data now to be able to do this type of stuff, turns out that decentralization is not really a thing in Bitcoin Core. It was kind of like, this core group of a few dozen people that really dominate stuff. And it's kind of decentralization theater like we're seeing in Ethereum. Now, we're paying $1 billion a year in ETH to the miners to maintain network security. We don't want to pay that anymore. We're now going to make it proof of stake and pay ourselves. Okay, well, I know why you want to do that. But that puts the whole Ethereum system on much shakier ground and represents a rug pull in a lot of ways. So they've alienated the people who made them what it is. Anyway, I don't want to get off on a tangent about Ethereum, but Kurt is a great resource for that type of stuff. And then I had
Saifedean
Ammous, the author of a book called The Bitcoin Standard and the Fiat Standard. He's one of the leading, one of the leading lights in Maxi land, and we had a great conversation. And then the third is Mark Cuban, and then there's a whole range of ones that I hope to get. If anybody has suggestions, send them my way. If you can help with outreach, there's a group formed up with 15 people in it for outreach team stuff, and we're devising strategies to go knock on doors and stuff. But if we can
it's going to become easier and easier for you to be able to attract attention when you're able to provide the three names that you've already interviewed. Can you show us a little egg on the Mark Cuban interview? How did that go?
Oh, it started off great and then got better with time. He's he's a bit of a hard-headed dude, and we've all seen him on Shark Tanks and stuff. He doesn't take any guff from anyone. I love him too. And so at the end, he goes, "Man, Max, I got to tell you, these were some great interview questions. This has really been a pleasure. Thank you."
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So that was very good. And then we hung out for about 10 minutes after. He had never heard of Mimblewimble. Here's what I can say. The final question was, I said, all right, so let's, if Satoshi had a mulligan and could go back in time and do it all over again based on what we've learned from the first 13 years of the Bitcoin Core experience and the also thousands of other altcoins, if Satoshi had access to today's tech and could do it all over again, what areas do you think he would want to improve? And he said, I have no idea, but if you have any suggestions, I'm all ears. And I said, well, why don't we wrap it there? Because I do have some ideas and I'd love to tell you about them.
And so you're going to issue an invite that you'll fly to Dallas and
yeah. He said he'd do lunch, so
That's
I'll hop
awesome.
out there and see him.
So
Yeah, can you imagine?
awesome. Yeah. So, but
I
now,
can imagine. I totally can imagine.
Wait, you're interviewing Robert Breedlove next.
Oh yeah. He was supposed to be 3 days ago, but he had a conflict and bowed out. So we're talking. I think that'll probably be in the next few days here.
Well, then I hope you got shit from Tim Freeman that somebody had an issue. I mean, I bet you really don't even have Robert Breedlove.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
You're just front running it, and you got to
stop.
It's
there's a history of what's that word Obama used? He's not lying. He's dissembling.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like Bill Clinton. What is the meaning of the word is? I don't know. Yeah. So, ankle biters and haters, they're always going to be there, but we just keep doing what we're doing. I mean, actions speak louder than words.
Yeah. What I'm finding is that there are so many prolific people now in the community that those ankle biters kind of get, it's like, I feel that like I used to kind of have to be the heavy sometimes. I know yoga has always been the heavy in going in there and being able to kind of set the record straight or kind of stop the nonsense. Islo certainly is very good at that as well. But I'm just seeing all kinds of people in there now that are like, just cut the shit, guys. Just taking the ankle biters and just directly, taking the feet right out from under them. It's just not going. Like I never see that kind of crap in Epic Cash trading anymore. I mean, it's positive now, and that's what's cool. I mean, and we're trading at $1. We
not
are
even
not even so
80 cents
undervalued. It is. Sick. I mean, people, I've been covering this for over a year, and that, my basis is about where it's trading now. So there's no excuses. When it was up at $5-6, it's a little harder, but we are, man, for people that are not paying attention, it's your fault. It is your fault.
Yeah, here, let me go ahead and screen share. Give me control here for a sec, and then I'm going to show you. This is a great meme.
Hold on. Yoga says, gents, don't feed and pet the trolls. Let them die in their puddle of vomit. So great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. So check this out. So this is how it is. This is real talk. So
what?
It's a little hard. Yeah. And then there's another one where it's like 672, our all-time high. Damn, I wish I got in earlier. 77 cents. This shit's a scam. It's going to zero.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. It's always this way. Watch. I promise you, fam, the people that you cannot get interested today, it's perverse. The more expensive it is, the more they will want it. And so everybody's coming eventually. We just don't know when. And it becomes kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, because I was a knucklehead. I had to miss out on 0 to 1,000 in Bitcoin Core before I got religion and said, okay, I guess I listened to the wrong people. Nouriel Rubini and Paul Krugman and Nicholas Taleb and Peter Schiff, they are all simply wrong. I'm going to make up my own mind here and bet on the future of money, which I believe is crypto, and did really well from it. And so everyone here, you go from that cycle of disbelief to slight open-mindedness, to consideration, to toe in the water, to wait, why do I own Monero anymore? I'd rather have like 300 times more share of the network of this baby one than the more established one. And we just keep climbing the mountain step by step. And if you really peel away the onion on the reasons for the smugness of the maxis, it's because it has been so profitable to just hold on for so long that they've become mulish and obstinate and stubborn and small-minded and closed-minded. I have a friend of mine, one of our mini whales, someone who's involved in the Everyone's Capital Partnership piece, which is our fund of funds to be able to onboard mass amounts of capital to our different parts of our ecosystem. And he put our stuff in front of Michael Saylor and he waved it away. He's like, "Get that shit out of my face." Everybody knows Bitcoin. Yeah, like literally, like if you tried to feed him like chopped liver smeared with dog feces, it was like a visceral recoil. And I'm just like how could you be so wedded to anything? I mean, the older I get, I'm not sure of anything anymore. All I know is how much I don't know and how much there is to learn. And so it's a shame that people that are in those positions of a lot of wealth and power aren't more open-minded. But for every one of those, increasingly now, there's more people like Scott Minerd, the Guggenheim Partners guy that was talking at Davos, and he has it right. And Mark Cuban has it right. Mark Cuban said, "Oh, like the people," he was kind of talking down about the maxis. He's like, "These guys, like," I don't remember what exactly he said, but it was kind of in a derisory kind of a way, like, geez, like the AOL maxi thing, CD-ROM forever, and it's going to get more expensive. Only if you don't know about the history of technology could you even make that statement. And so you have former silver and gold guys like Max Kaiser that misunderstand economics and don't understand the tech stuff, prophetic intellectual types that can talk with beautiful prose about what Bitcoin means for humans, like Robert Breedlove. You can have deep tech guys like Kurt Wilker talking about the base 58 encoding and how pay to script hash is different and how SegWit blah 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 blah. But ultimately it's like the three blind men and the elephant, where one of them is like, this is a tree trunk, this is a wall, this is a snake. No, it's an elephant, and you're just seeing the one piece. But there's so much here. It's so multidisciplinary. There's so much going on, and even after spending 10,000+ hours myself over these past 5 years, it's amazing. Every day I'm humbled by how much I don't know. I've got the Veet Bridge white paper in front of me. It's 119 pages. I mean, there's just not enough time in the day to even scratch the surface of all this stuff, even if you've been here for decades. Yeah.
Max, you have that 117-page white paper. I'm still on tip and mitten. So, let's talk about some, let's talk about our future a bit, because there are some key initiatives that are going to be very meaningful for Epic Cash, for the ecosystem, and likely for the price action. One of those is Diego's mobile wallet. Can you give us an update on that? And with that, I want to remind you, I want you to educate us on what a bear trap is.
All right. So in software development, you cannot really estimate how long something is going to take, because if there's bugs, maybe you just go in, find the bug. Okay, I solved it, and it's 10 seconds. It might be 10 minutes, 10 days, 10 hours, 10 months, 10 years, or never. Never, in a lot of times, is the answer, and it's quicker to just go redo whatever part you're facing and refactor it or abstract it out or solve it another way. And a lot of that comes with experience. So I've managed software development for over 25 years now. And so when I talk to Todd and people like Diego and other high-level folks that really, it's not their first rodeo because they've seen it all over a long period of time and dozens and hundreds and thousands of micro projects. Todd calls them boulders, like big projects like non-interactive transactions and atomic swaps and quantum resistant algo and stuff like that. Those are boulders, and while we work on those, we find pebbles, little quick pickup things, and baseballs and melons and softballs and basketballs, and build up the momentum along the way. And so if all we wanted to do was tick the box and have a mobile wallet, if our standard was we must have a mobile wallet, it doesn't have to be a good mobile wallet. That could have been done in early 2019 as a quick and dirty, very easily. But what also would have happened is if you look at Grin++ and Ironbelly, the two Grin wallets, they've been a disaster in terms of usability. Both parties have to be online. It's not very friendly. Just like it's bad to expose users to premature stuff. We want it to be great or not have it at all. And so we waited. So by setting ourselves a super high standard of quality that we would rather have nothing rather than it being as close to perfect as can be, we set ourselves a tall task, and there have been a lot of essential prerequisites that need to be there. If you want to build a car, you need a car factory, and you need the machinery inside the factory. You need the labor. You need the railroads and trucks to be able to get the products in and out. You need the ports facilities. You need all of that stuff, and it doesn't happen overnight. And so in order to make the mobile experience as good as it could be, we had to introduce something called Epic Box. Epic Box is a store and forward message solution that bridges the interactivity of the Epic protocol itself that requires the two sides to handshake. It basically introduces an intermediate layer that the messages sit on, doesn't compromise privacy, doesn't compromise the network in any way. It's only for those who use that. And if the worst thing that can happen, because remember, you can't lose coins in Mimblewimble, and none of this stuff can be de-anonymized, so there's no other consequences to reduce our privacy, as an example, or our high availability, level of assurance we need. With Epic Box, it was poorly documented, and the existing stuff, specifically Wallet 713, it needed the function calls. I think they're the JSON calls, RPC, something like that. It becomes a word soup, and I don't remember exactly what Diego told me. But he said that they needed to be in a very specific order. And when they did them in a different order, it didn't work. And they didn't know that until they went in and diagnosed that. And it took quite a bit of time. So that's known as a bear trap, when you're walking along the forest and you stick your leg in one of those spiky metal, catch the bear's leg in the trap from the cartoons, that type of thing. So he stepped in a bear trap, but the more of those you solve, and then once they're done, that part's not going to cause a problem, so you can move on to other things. Where we are in the process is adversarial testing under real world conditions to try and go break it and see how it fails. So like in our existing GUI wallet, as an example, if you get an error message, it's like error 0x4357. Well, what good does that do? I mean, sure, maybe you can copy paste, go to the help desk and ask for support, but wouldn't it be better to say, error, your password should be blah, blah, blah. And here's a link to the help desk. Or maybe make it so that the labeling on that input field doesn't accept characters that are invalid, or it tells you, or a million other things that go into making a quality product. And so what I look at is, in the history of technology, there's many examples that can guide us on what to do and what not to do. Before the iPod, there was this portable music player called the Microsoft Zune. And the Zune had more memory, it had more features, it was cheaper, it was just all around better. And then the iPod came out, and it had a single button, and it was more expensive, and you couldn't put as many songs on it. But man, it was easy to use with that
Right.
single button and the scroll wheel. Even a a knucklehead like me can figure out that one, whereas the other stuff is just too confusing. So the way it works on this is if we're going to support 1 million users, let's just say, and 1% of those people have a problem, we have 10,000 people with a problem. So we need to make that go from 1% to a tenth of 1%, and then 100th of 1%, and then 1 out of 100,000, and then 1 out of 1 million, and 1 out of 1 billion. And so we just keep taking finer and finer grains of sandpaper to our surface to make it a smoother and smoother polish. And as the bad news is that that approach is slow. The good news is, or slow over the short term. The good news is that it's faster over the long term. It was just a Herculean effort to get E3 out the door. Once we did, it unblocked ECR and eDex and everything on our roadmap. We had to get that out, and we faced a lot of choices about, do we do it the quick and dirty way and just ship it and then deal with the consequences later, or do we do it right? And if you do it the other way, you accumulate what's known as technical debt, and you kind of paint yourself in a corner in all these places, and it limits what you can do. So for example, Zcash, they talk about removing the trusted setup, but they really can't. They can just say that new transactions can benefit from a different level of cryptography, but they can't just start over and go fresh from the box with that because of the design choices they made 6 years ago. So anyway, deep dive into software development.
Thank you. Can you give us just a little sneak peek initially what the Diego wallet is going to be, and then long term what he's working towards? Because I think initially, I know it's going to be a multi-coin wallet, but initially, is it just going to be Epic Cash, or will there be other coins?
Yeah, so it's going to be called the Stacks wallet.
STACKS.
STACKS, yes.
Okay.
That is from Diego's company called CipherStack. It's going to be a free app, and the way that he will support the continued development, which is also a major problem we've seen in Grin, for example. They got a grant from their development fund, and then there wasn't any appetite to continue to iterate, so it's unsupported, and then it kind of just dies off. You got to have the funding structure, the business part of these things, right? And so Diego's got a deal with a company called Change Now. The coins that are going to be on there are Bitcoin Core, Doge, Ether, Firo, Epic, and Monero. And of all those coins, of those 6 coins, 5 of them are tradable on Change Now. Epic is not. And so this will enable us to finally get a bit of Change Now's attention and go, hey, do you want all these users to be able to swap into your service? Yes or no? So phase 1 is multi-chain wallet, but just with those. And then shortly after that is a swap service with Change Now. Change Now is going to pay a small referral commission to Diego so that he can keep the app free and continue to develop it. Yeah, and then that gives us entree. We tried a number of times to get on Change Now, and they were too busy. I mean, there were so many billions out there to be had of all this VC-driven dumb money stuff.
I'd have to think the timing is perfect right now to get their attention. Just show them, how we're holding up.
Yeah, people are noticing. They really are.
Other projects are,
pulling back.
They're totally pulling back. Some of them are going to go to zero, and Change Now knows it. And so
and it costs resources to continue to support these things. Right. I mean, as networks are no longer developed, they're unstable. I mean, Solana's gone down 9 times, and when the people who work for Solana, the company, don't get paid anymore, they don't do that stuff anymore. So it's a very vulnerable model. I hope it exists, but I would give it 50-50 odds that Solana even exists as a network 10 years from now, even 5. And I think that really validates our choices to have the patience to get rich slowly and not go for the steroids of the VC money. Now, of course, we've got various parts of our ecosystem that need to be built out, and we're sufficiently established and decentralized where it doesn't put our essential character at risk. You know, if some VC wants to partner with us on Eon or something, that doesn't have anything but positive impact on Epic. But if you look at Polkadot, Cardano, Solana, Avalanche, Tezos, they are all, in the eyes of the government, illegal securities offerings. And they have now, under present law, the government, at least in the United States, has 5 years to go after them, and there's unlimited liability. And so, as we saw in the case of XRP, when the government has you in the crosshairs and they fire a shot, even if they miss and you live to fight another day, the network value of XRP went down by half that day, and it got delisted from all the US exchanges. And now that sword of Damocles is over their head. So we can sleep at night. Our foundation is built on solid granite rather than sand. And as we continue to build out our skyscraper, we will increasingly be given credit for our foresight and our wisdom in having clear eyes about the conditions that we would face in the future.
Yeah, back to Chris Champion, what I showed you, the video of him. I mean, he couldn't have been more adamant about what you just said. It's just, you know, we're living in amazing times. So let me be very clear. So when the Diego wallet comes out, there'll be 6 assets in it. 5 of those assets, they'll be able to not atomic swap, but they could trade going from one to another, but it would go through Change Now. So like,
correct.
Okay. So that would be like, gosh,
BTC to Ether.
Yeah.
Well, really, like if you have Monero and you want to get into Epic, you could swap through Change Now, Monero to BTC, and then BTC to Epic over on VTEX. So
right.
we're solving the last mile link to connect Epic into all these other circuits of value.
Okay. But so to me, there's really a couple of change agent opportunities. First one's going to be the wallet itself coming out. But then after that, when Diego successfully gets the Change Now people to give us some attention so that we can be exchanged within his wallet, and behind the scenes, it'll be through Change Now. And Diego's also obviously motivated to get that done because he's going to be able to get a little referral on each one of those. And good for him, man, because this is going to be an amazing wallet. But I'm looking forward to that day, because then that's when it's going to be the easy button for people to be able to now will people be able to go on his, stupid question here, probably. They won't be able to go on his wallet and buy Epic or BTC or ETH, or will they?
No, well, maybe Change Now. No, I think Change Now does only crypto to crypto.
Okay.
So it solves a piece, but not the main piece. The reason that the gatekeepers like Coinbase and Kraken and Gemini and FTX, these places that do fiat, is because they're willing to jump through all the hoops and navigate the red tape of the fiat system with regard to the banking licenses. So I can show a little bit of leg on that. Freeman Express has been in development for years, and it's coming along really, really well. Our partners over at a company called Ibanera, which is the crypto unit of one of the major payment processing firms in the world, called Elavon, E-L-A-V-O-N, if you want to check it out. So we've been working quite closely on figuring out which fiat rails we can access to, and which jurisdictions we can do and which you can't do, because like in New York, you need a BIT license, and over here you need a money transfer license, and here you need an MSI. I mean, it just becomes an alphabet soup. So here are the rails that Freeman Express will be able to do fiat on and off. Now, I can't commit to a specific timing. I can just say that we're working very hard.
Yeah.
So Apple Pay, Google Pay, MasterCard, Samsung Pay, Visa Checkout, ACH, Alipay, Bank Contact, BillDesk, ePay, EU Teller, GiroPay, Ideal, InstaDebit, Klarna, Konbini, Multibanco, NeoSurf, Open Banking, Pay Easy, Pay Now, PayPal, PaySafeCard, PayU, Poly, Persalui 24, Safety Pay, SEPA, Sofort, Swift, Trustly, Union Pay, and WeChat Pay. So do you think we're going to be able to get some users with that?
Yeah. Did you get permission from Tim Freeman to share that list?
I'm sure it's all BS. Smoke and mirrors.
Totally smoke and mirrors. Not going to happen. Oh,
yeah.
Tim, you know what? I'm giving you shit because you deserve it. But we still love you. Okay. Somebody asked a question if you knew if is Change Now with Cake Wallet, because Diego created Cake Wallet too.
I don't know if there's any connection there.
Okay.
That's a good question.
Okay.
Free somebody in Free U would probably know.
Say again. Oh, okay.
In Freeman U.
T.me/Freeman U. You know, I do a shitty job at this, Max, with my live streams. So let me just kind of wrap up and let people know where they can come and find us. Always the lobby is T.me/Epic Cash. And that's where our primary community is. And then from there, you can go lots of different places, but also recommend, if you just like learning, and like I like being a voyeur in Freeman U, just to be able to see the exchanges going on there. That's T.me Freeman U, and that's with a U, not a YOU at the end. If you like trading, we have T.me/ is it Epic Trading or Epic Cash?
Epic Cash Trading.
Okay, Epic Cash Trading.
And then mining is Epic Miners.
Epic Miners. Okay,
and
good.
And then there's Ladies of Epicenter.
Yep.
Overall, there's probably a couple of hundred different groups. If anybody's interested in putting together a directory for the Epicentral website, and there's also an app coming that will make all this easier, please let me know. And I should actually repeat my constant call for people to help. If you have bandwidth and in any way, even if you don't think you have any skills, shoot me a DM, and I get a lot of inquiries. So to keep it efficient, if you can just say, hey, I'm Bob, tell me whatever about yourself you care to. The more details I get, the more it helps me plug people in. But don't need to share anything you're not comfortable with. And just say, hey, I'm a dentist in the UK. My name is Neil, and I make videos called Epic Rising. Okay, great. Let me plug you in over here and there. And so everyone, if you have time on your hands, let me know. And there's hundreds of individual initiatives on a local level that are happening, and we're really fleshing out a lot of meat on the bone. It reminds me like a teenager when they get that summer when they hit a growth spurt. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm really proud of the culture that we've formed. That immune system organizing against trolls and ankle biters and saboteurs is really important. The malcontents, even just let's say people with access to grind or attention seekers or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, and we get stronger from that. We are anti-fragile. We're resilient. So get involved. ECR is coming along. I'm working on the white paper. Shout out to Jessica Chaplin for help on that. Also Anna Zimmerman and Alan Trades. They've all been doing a lot of great work helping put stuff together.
And I want to shout out to Mother Trucker too. She's everywhere. I mean, just absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mother Trucker. Lydia, I mean, all of you. It's just, we have the best ladies in the world within our project. It is so cool. I mean, show me another project out there like it. Just one. Anybody DM me. And by the way, we will never DM you first. We will never say, hey, I need a quick favor. Hey, can I borrow 2.2 BTC for just 2 hours? Really be hyper diligent, folks, because people are starting to what do you call it? Emulate us. There's another word. But they're faking like they're us, and a lot of that's going on with you, Max. To where, God, there's a word for it. I suck today.
Imitate.
No, there's even imposters.
Oh, imposter. Yes.
They're imposters. And so just be hyper diligent. And especially if and the other one is just really, really freaking simple. Here's a PSA. Really simple. This is the easy button. If anybody ever, and they do every day, sends you a DM that says hi or hello, just one word, just freaking delete that. Delete it from both sides. You have that option. Don't even open it. Just delete the MFer, because it is a bot that's just they're just trolling, trying to throw out people. Like somebody might say, oh, hi. And usually, many times, it's a pretty good looking woman, you know. And sometimes they'll come into our chats and like I'll click on it and it'll be the only shared group is Epic Cash Community. And it's hello, you know, and you want to be polite and engaged and whatnot, but inevitably, you know, 95% of them, 99% of them end up being these bots, and they're just there to try to steal your money. So we have to be hyper diligent. And if anybody out there is butthurt for any of us in there that are that push back and like, oh, sure, hello, admin. You know, that's what I do. I just call an admin to look into it. But if you're real, sorry, we're doing it for you. If you are real, just learn that if you're going to come in, don't just freaking say hello. Why don't you add a little bit more context and substance to what you post? Okay, so let's see, Max. What else? It is 1 o'clock. So we did good. Thank you very much for all the time. And I
have another one. Sorry
Okay.
to interrupt, but this is exciting. So for those of us who appreciate independent media voices, my new friend Sean at SGT Report, who has 120,000 subscribers on BitChute. Thank you, Diego, Yoga, and Pool Boy for helping me troubleshoot him. To give you an idea of how important this relationship is, I think it took about 4 hours all told to get him over the hump. He had various reasons why he couldn't do this and couldn't do that, and we ended up getting him into our boat. And so he's going to have me on July 7th on his show. And and he's, you know, it's not like he's asking for a payment. He just now as a coin holder like us, he's like, well, we got to get you guys some exposure. When can you come on the show? I first contacted him 5 years ago. And amazing. It took that long to tie it in, but here we are. So Sean is great. As people like that increasingly get there or in the water and row, people like Josh Sigurdson have helped out a lot. Dan Dix, Danny Sessom, Chris Rice, Ernest Hancock, the people at Float, more and more as I always say, as we continue to demonstrate that we're worthy of people's attention, they'll give us more of it, and the value will naturally follow.
And let's give a special shout out to Mike Momola, who, where is he at today? Right now, recording right now, like now. Max?
Yeah. Sorry, hold on. Let me just tell my
New York Stock Exchange. New York Stock Exchange. Mike Momola is dropping another awesome video that's going to be shared. So that is a really productive side of, awareness. And man, we're getting so close on so many things. It's just amazing. You were looking at something? Right?
Yeah, no, I got a jet. I have another call.
All right.
So many of these things that I've been trying to put in place for years are now, like, people have the time, they have the attention, they have the interest. So let me go strike while the iron is hot.
Go
have
strike.
a great weekend, everybody.
All right. Thank you. And everyone in the chat, thanks. Levi, Nathan, I will be giving you a buzz. Give me 5 minutes after the show and we'll chat. And really, really happy to have you with an oar in the water. You're awesome. And we have a lot to learn from you. So thank you. And by the way, that article you just wrote was epic. Okay, everyone, have a great weekend. I missed you. I love you. I can't wait to see you again. Come back for Crypto Coffee with Todd Lewis on Wednesday at 11 a.m. And then, of course, next Friday, Epic Cash Live. And by the way, if anybody hasn't watched yesterday's video, please do. And near the end, Yoga gave an interview that I included in that live stream. And it was just awesome. Yoga, amazing job. I called it unconscious competence. When somebody can stand up there. I think you were in a pool hall or I don't know where the hell you were, but you were with some cowboy, crypto cowboy, and he was asking great questions and you were just dropping all kinds of knowledge effortlessly. So everybody should go watch it because you're going to learn something. I sure did. So, okay, everyone, I'm going to say sayonara.